Well, I pretty much called that last week, now didn't I? What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video, and welcome to the Saturday Chat and Chill, where normally we would kick back and relax and talk about one topic in the King of Fighters All-Star community for about 10 to 15 minutes. But unfortunately, well, more so fortunately for all of us here, is that we do have an update coming up in a few short days, and therefore we have a lot of information we need to talk about. Because we not only have EX Volume 7 coming our way in just a couple days, but we also have the Black Friday deals and events, and this year they are looking pretty spicy. So we're going to kick back and talk about all of that this week, but before we get into all of that more, make sure if you guys haven't already done so, you smash that like button and subscribe, and let's just go ahead and get into the news. So as always, guys, I will have links in the description, and this is going to be fairly lengthy this week, so buckle up, buckaroos, grab yourself a cup of coffee. I've already got mine available and ready. Let's do it. So the first thing that you guys want to know about is the fact that we are going to have two separate event days. But so basically we're going to have 2 days that are going to drop new events. We're going to have the stuff that is going to be for EX Volume 7 on the 21st. And then on the 24th, we are also going to get a sprinkling of in-game events, as well as items and shop items for the most part. So there's going to be quite a bit there, and that's going to be for Black Friday. So I'll try my best to kind of sift through the release dates on these as we go, because Netmarble, of course, doesn't necessarily put these things in such a great order when it comes to these types of announcements. So the first thing here, of course, is going to be EX Volume 7. It is going to be a very surprising one. It's going to be a Samurai Showdown team. It's going to be 15 Haomaru and 15 Nakaruru. So if you guys can tell here, I don't know if you can read that, but we do have Haomaru being a green element balance type, and then we are going to have Nakaruru being a blue element balance type. Interesting that they're both balance types. I would assume that this is going to end up being correct. Maybe they just messed something up here text-wise. They are bad at translating these things at times, but it does appear as though we are going to get a rare banner where both fighters are going to be the same typing. So it's kind of interesting. But overall, this is an amazing addition. There are a lot of people out there, because it was so early on in the lifespan of the game, that missed the Samurai Showdown collaboration here for Global. So if you guys missed out on that, you didn't get to pick up Haomaru. Nakaruru, of course, has been a unified banner fest for a very long time. A very bad one at that, unfortunately, for the most part. She has some niche uses if you need a real budget character, but she's really, really not that great. And honestly, it is so cool to see her included in this, because this is a character that's near and dear to my heart, just from a childhood standpoint. Shout out to my brother. But you know what? This is a really cool combination, and I know a lot of people out there that are super excited about this. I'm very happy that these two are involved here. Keep in mind everything I told you guys last week as far as what could be happening over the course of the next 6 weeks. I already called that we're probably going to be seeing an EX banner of some sort before we see anything else in possible reruns, and here we are. So this is very, very cool, you guys, but let's continue because there's a lot of information here. Of course, we do have looks at the card art. Card art always looks great. It's interesting to see Haomaru's here. It almost looks like a CGI type of animation when it comes to the illustration here, but I can't really tell. It's a very low res image, but overall, the card art always looks really, really good. And then, of course, we are going to have the cards for the Rush Dungeon this time around, looking adorable. I love the pixelated art, and being able to see these characters here in pixelated form is very, very cute, because they're adorable characters to begin with. So that is what we got there. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is the Black Friday Celebration EX Fighter Summons. Now, this is going to be what it looks like, a series of banners. They're all just going to be available that are going to be rate up banners, where you can actually rate up the character that you're wanting the most. If you guys remember, I had wanted and requested and said that I would love to see that in the game for the regular banners, now that we have split EX fighters on the same banner. But you know what? This is cool that we're getting it here. So as you guys can see, this is going to be the Black Friday EX Fighter Pickup Summon. So as you guys can see, the first one here is going to feature the EX Kyo and the EX Shermie. So that is a very awesome combination of characters, two extraordinarily good characters. They are starting to get power crept in an enormous way. They're still really, really good, Keo especially is going to be one of those really great damage dealers out there, especially if you like team runs and things like that. He's really good there, but he's a great character regardless. And then you of course have Shermie here, who is also, in my opinion, a very underrated character for what she's able to do, but unfortunately that's what happens when you have power creep such as it is. So unfortunately, power creep characters, but very good characters, their cards are also going to be returning. And then if you guys see right here, their set cards for both their banners respectively are going to be here, and this is another really good opportunity for players out there with this banner and the rest of these banners to be able to pick up some of these cards that have been coming out recently, because they've been very, very good. So that's going to be the first banner. The second banner is going to feature Cronin and Angel. So of course Cronin and Angel is not going to be a surprising combination of characters, so makes sense. But if you guys take a look here, we are going to see that their cards return, as well as their respective set cards. And then finally here, we are going to have the Black Friday event banner. Now this is going to be an event banner. This is not going to be a Ruby summon banner. This is going to be a banner which we've had a lot of these in the past. Think Saul Bad Guy when it came to what we had with the Guilty Gear collaboration, or with Gato recently. So that is kind of what we're going to be seeing here. And we're going to see Lady Choi involved as the character that is going to be featured on that, which will be really cool for me because I can A5 her doing this, and that's going to be awesome because I did go in on her original banner. I love this character's art. I love this character just in gameplay, and I really just like this character. So I'm very happy that she is going to be featured there. I can see a lot of players though that invested money on that banner being pissed off about it though, but hey, that's the risk you take when you play gacha games, especially with Netmarble. So anyway, you guys, the next thing I want to talk about, of course, is going to be the fact that we are going to see cards featured on that banner. So if you guys take a look here, you are going to see all these cards are going to be on this banner, including this one here, which again could piss some people off, because if you guys remember, this was the card set that was available in the shop that you could buy with Rubies, and now they're just gonna throw it in here, which is interesting. So there you have it, you guys. The beautiful rehabilitation set is returning, for better or for worse. I'll be happy to have it back personally, because I didn't pick it up the first time, and it's a really, really good time attack set. So now I had mentioned to you guys that there are two different dates that you have to keep in mind at the beginning of the video, and this is going to be where we're gonna have to talk about that in depth, because when we get into the in-game events, it might get a little confusing for some. So when it comes to the stuff that we're getting, the 21st is when we're getting the EX Volume 7 or Samurai Showdown update, right? So that's what we're getting there. Now, when it comes to the EX reruns and the Black Friday stuff, that's going to be closer to Black Friday. That's going to be on the 24th. So anything we talk about from here forward, and anything we've already talked about, if it's a Black Friday thing or it's going to be an EX rerun thing, it's going to be involved on the 24th update, and the 21st update is going to be the EX Volume 7 or Samurai Showdown stuff, right? So keep that in mind. It reiterates it here, and it kind of goes back into it here when we talk about these cards being obtainable other places. When it comes to the exchange shops, the Peaceful World set will be available on the 21st in there, and then a bunch of the rerun cards are going to be in there as well, which is nice. So you will have the ability to hopefully kind of avoid getting too shafted on the card banners if you're going for these, but that's going to be what you get there as far as where you can get for the exchange. However, keep in mind for the battle card dungeon, only the Samurai Showdown cards for the EX Volume 7 will be there. You're not going to be able to obtain any of the rerun cards through the battle card dungeon. Now, when it comes to the stones, they do actually talk about them in here, which is a first, I think. I don't think they normally do this in most of these update notices, but I'm not going to go too much into detail here. We'll talk about it when the update goes live. What I did find interesting, though, is the Star and the Moon Imprint Stone for the Samurai team. They are going to be both crit related, which is really, really cool. So I'm going to have to budget accordingly with this banner. I really would like to have these characters, but as you guys can see, we have Nakaruru and Haomaru here. You can get their prime memories, of course. They're EX fighters. What we really need to start talking about, though, is the in-game events, because as you guys can see, there's a ton of it, not just because we're getting the EX Volume 7, but because we're also getting the Black Friday stuff. Now, in here, they do go into and give you a bit of a nice, really a nice table, but we don't really want to use that. What we want to do is we want to jump over to the in-game event notice, because this is going to be what gives us more information. So on the 21st, we are going to get a new login bonus that is going to have have items pertaining to some of these events, both the crafting event and the dice event. So as you guys can see, you are going to get your badge fragments here, as well as some dice for the dice game that we'll talk about. Now, when it comes to those fragments, you guys know what to do. You exchange those for badges in the crafting event. I don't think I need to explain how that works to you. Now, Black Friday, however, we are going to be getting a login bonus as well. On the 24th, we are going to see this login bonus, and this is going to be really good for our event banner summons, right? So this is going to be very, very nice. So this right here, make sure you're logging in every day. You want these items. So with that said, the event summon banner, you can see the graphic here. We already talked about the fact that Lady Choi is going to be the banner head of this one, and you are going to see the cards involved in here as well. This option card right here, you guys want this option card. You probably want like 2, 3, 4 of them. Make sure you get this. But with that being said, all these cards will be good. Obviously, you want her finisher for her, and then you, of course, this set, like I said, is going to be good for time attack. But this right here, is of all these cards, is going to be the most useful and versatile as far as these things are concerned. So with that said, that's of course going to be on the 24th. We do have a carnival as well. Now this carnival here, you are going to be playing this a little bit differently. This one you're going to notice is going to use those other coins that were in that login bonus that we just showed. So with that said, you're going to notice that your event summons, as well as these tokens for this guy down here, are going to be in the login. And unfortunately, it does appear as though the Black Friday shop is going to be the only other place to get them. From what it looks like here, it doesn't really mention anything else about where you can get these. So unfortunately, this is going to be one of those things we'll have to wait and see if you're going to have enough to get through it. But with that said, you guys are going to notice that there is going to be an EX Fighter selector on here for the final reward. And that is phenomenal. Also, guys, keep in mind right here, the repeat reward. Let's take a look at this. So if you guys notice, you're going to have a repeat reward here. It's going to require some points. And again, I get the feeling they want you to be in the shop buying stuff, but it looks like that EX selector is also a repeat reward. However, again, keep in mind, it does appear as though it is going to be 5,000 points for a repeat, and it's limited to 2, and it's probably definitely going to be a situation where you're going to need to pick those up via your wallet, because I don't think you're going to get anywhere near enough of those coins to get to that repeat. I really, really don't, unless there's something I'm missing in here, which I don't think I am, but somebody in the comments can let me know. So with that said, as far as the characters that are going to be in that selector, these are going to be the characters in there. So you guys are going to notice Kyo, Angel, Cronin, Shermie, and Lady Choi. The fighters that are being rerun with the banners, as well as the event banner, are going to be there. Man, I am really excited to not only A5 Lady Choi, but I'm finally going to get the KOF 15 version of Kyo. And I'm really happy about that. So with that being said, you guys, when it comes to the Rush Dungeon, you can see here, this is going to be the Rush Dungeon shop this time around. Again, they're showing a lot more information in this in-game event notice and the update notice, and I'm very happy about it. This time we can actually see what's in here, and it looks like we are going to be seeing kind of standard fare. We're going to get our fragments. We're going to have our card set. Really, really nice that we have this here. Good job, Netmarble, for giving us more information on these updates. We also are, of course, going to have a tower on the 21st to coincide with the X Volume 7. This is only going to be able to be played if you have the new fighters for the Samurai Showdown fighters. So that's going to be what you get there. We also have the dice game here. Now, the dice game this time around, as you guys can see, very, very similar to what we're normally used to. However, what is very, very cool about this is the way that we're going to be able to pick the dice up, because the dice this time around, we're actually going to be able to get from the Rush Dungeon. So while that does suck for our AP, we can actually grind it, which is nice. They have done dice games in the past where we could really only get like a fixed amount every day. So I'll have to wait and see. The last time they did this with the Rush Dungeon, it was actually not good. So I'm hoping that they've got it to where it's actually going to be decent this time around, but we'll have to wait and see how much of that stuff we can pick up, because of course you always want to grind these dice games. And it can be tough sometimes depending on how they implement how you get the dice. Now, other things here, the event codex, pretty much similar to any other event codex. I don't think any of the items changed in here at all. It's all pretty much the same stuff that you would normally see for leveling up your fighters. When it comes to the crafting event, we already talked about what the Star and the Moonstone do. We talked about where you can pick up fragments, both from the login and the Rush event, etc. So that's not anything we need to talk about there. Now, when it comes to other things in here, We don't have a whole lot of stuff that we need to talk about as far as events, but we do have a lot of packages. I don't really want to go into these too much. What I really want to point out is the fact that we have 2 different battle passes for the $50 tier, and I believe even the cheap, the $5 tier. If you guys notice here, you're going to be able to pick up an EX Fighter summon ticket, which does look like it's going to be another one of those selectors there, but you're also going to be able to get these tokens that are selectors to select what banner you want them for, I'm assuming is what's going on there. But also you have the ability to auto clear for the rush dungeon on not only the Black Friday ones, well actually only the Black Friday ones. So for those of you who are trying to budget, I would say don't pick this one up for the EX Volume 7 unless you're just solely there for EX Volume 7, and instead wait to see what this one looks like, because you may want to look at this because, hey, it might be something you might want to kind of look at because of the rate up. It might be a better proposition of value there. It's up to you. Comes down to how much you're planning on grinding the rush dungeon, etc. But I might wait and see what's going on here just before you spend all that money. Now, with other things here, Chapter of Fight is getting a new season. That is going to be happening on the 21st along with the EX Volume 7 stuff. So not much to talk about there. Pretty much standard. And then we have, of course, the little schedule down here, which is going to be very handy for all those people that'll be in the comment section on the 21st going, hey, where's Keo? He doesn't come out till the 24th. But anyway, you guys, that is what we are getting as far as this update is concerned. One other thing I do want to mention on the 20th is we are going to, of course, get this login bonus as well. This is going to give us a ton of tickets, and this is also going to give us 1,500 rubies. So this is going to be an amazing login bonus to help get over all of this new content that is going to require our rubies, because man, oh man, you guys, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. The rerun characters that they chose are phenomenal, and when it comes to the characters they chose for EX Volume 7, they are also phenomenal. I am so happy it's these two. Gonna be a really fun time. And then of course, you guys, if we hop on over into the game real quick, if you guys did not notice, if you go into these little mystery boxes for the ongoing carnival, you will be able to pick up tickets in here potentially if your RNG is going to bless you, so that you can potentially get those characters as well from those and maybe save yourself some rubies. All you got to do is pick up battle cards, and you have another day, 2 days to do that. So you do have time on that, but guys, we are getting very, very close to this update, and this is going to be very exciting. I'm very happy they chose who they chose. I'm very happy with the schedule because it's something I've been kind of game planning in my head, and it seems like we're on that course. If you guys didn't see last week's Saturday Chat and Chill, go check it out. You'll know what I'm talking about. However, I'm really happy with what we're getting with this banner. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about it. How do you feel about what we're getting for Black Friday? Are you happy with the characters they chose to rerun? Let me know in the comments section. But anyway, you guys, I'm out of here. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And until the next one, you all take care. Peace.
Continue.